Alright guys, welcome. This is part 44. I'm going to call this the finale. Ranked is now over. It's just a lot of unranked queuing ahead for the foreseeable future. Obviously, All or Nothing came out and there was a lot of fun with that. However, I have still been playing and I've been enjoying fresh air. You'll notice at the bottom of the screen here, over my skills, something's going on. So, since coming back to unranked, people are just so bad in unranked. I kind of wanted to take this opportunity to try and get a little bit better as a player. So, what I tend to find I do a lot when I'm playing Elementalist, but particularly Weaver, where there's a lot of attunement, global attunement cooldowns and skills to look at, 20 skills. I often find I'm looking at recharges when I kind of don't need to. So, for example, Plasma Beam. I know in general it's going to be like, after I Plasma Beam, there's no point dipping back into fire for a reasonable amount of time before Plasma Beam will come back up. And really what I want to do is kind of have a solid sense of that without actually looking at the cooldowns and chancing going into fire and then waiting for the Plasma Beam to come back up when it's not really ready. Stuff like that, right? Like, you should just kind of know it's every, like, 4th rotation through if you're constantly attunement swapping, blah, blah, blah. But I kind of... Basically what I'm saying is looking at cooldowns is a crutch to an extent. And every second you're looking at skills and skill execution and the skill bar, you're not looking at the broader screen. One thing really struck me while I was playing Thief this season, and that's that it's kind of really easy to be very aware of what's going on when you're a thief, because all you have to do is kind of glance at initiative, and that one resource, that one little element of the UI, will give you an intuitive sense of every cooldown you have available on the left-hand side of your skill bar, right? And like that's really cool, and I like that, and I think basically I'd be a better player if I almost never am looking down here, So I actually did several queues where I cut off the entirety of the bottom of my screen because I didn't know how to sort of do it. So I didn't have like health, I didn't have anything, and I was gonna do a video, and I actually won several games, and I actually went through several games with 0 deaths like that as well. But overall, it was really clunky, and when better people started queuing, I lost for them like my stupid reasons, like healing at like what I presume is like full health and stuff. It's kind of lame. So what I'm doing now is just locking off weapon skills. It's still really important to see healed. It's still really important to see health. It's still really important to see all of these. And particularly FGS, long cooldowns are more frustrating. So you're gonna see for the last game of Game of the Day Season 3, whatever this is, right? As we're up into the 40s, which I'm quite proud of, by the way. This has been the longest one so far. I'm going to play a fresh air game with no UI for weapon skills. So yeah, let's jump on in and see how we go. This is just a pre-game lobby. You'll notice I'm on a different character. I'm on a character called Jolly Jimmy, alright? He's a leprechaun. So basically I stole this idea from a Twitch stream I saw. Well, basically, the new orchestral weapons have sound effects on unsheath and, equip and unequip. And they sound awesome. In fact, I'm going to leave sound effects in on this Game of the Day for you all so that you can hear them. And so, as I burst people, the guys go... It's amazing. Alright, it's very cool. Because every time you attunement swap on an Ellie, you equip your weapons. So yeah, we'll go out. Also, this is a jump where you can actually sneak into the blue base. I am blue team, so don't think this is too scummy right now. I have done it when I'm on red. But yeah, you can sneak into the blue base even when you're not supposed to be able to sneak into the blue base, and that's kind of fun. You just jump up. In fact, in-game, I actually kited a rev by climbing in here before. That's all no valid path up on that pillar, so I've had multiple kills, but I even went so far as to save my own life from someone hitting me down on the roads with range pressure. I don't think it was a rev. I think it was something else in that one. Anyway, so we're against a fresh air early. That's the most notable person we're going to be fighting against. The main game here is obviously we're gonna be killing him without even seeing what we're doing visually, but we need to have a very solid sense of rotations. And you will see in this game, I died to the fresh air early. It has nothing to do with skills. It's just game sense and map sense. So that's all it is. So here I'm not really looking at the thing. I'm just trying to turn chat off here because I don't want people getting distracted. Here I think that this Mirage might jump me. So I put a Dragon's Tooth on top of myself after swapping to Fire Attunement. But he doesn't. I don't really want to jump on the Mirage early. They're just so obscenely overpowered, and he's going to be evading tons. So I come through the middle, and I'm assuming that my character can sustain. But about here, I realize it's a Scourge that's getting hit, and that's a bad idea. The Scourge will just melt. So instead, I cross over, and I realize I have to save the Scourge's life. Also, some of the dodges have been blown, so it's kind of nice. I wait for the right moment, which I predict here at the end of the axe. You'll see, I think I threw a Phoenix down here already over my Scourge. But then he used the axe this way, so it didn't help. And this Dragon's Tooth doesn't mean anything. But my secondary burst, we hit him very hard. Now, here's the thing. That Mirage, was CC'd there, I think with an Earthen Synergy. or maybe an immobilized that I put on him, in my allies elite at the same time. So not only have I just... But my burst will have put him to like 20% health, and now he's stealthed. But he also will have Condi pressure on him. And if we're lucky, when he's stealthed with the Torch 4, it didn't cleanse the burns. And we were lucky. So as you can see, he went down. So here I swirl. It's not necessary at all unless the fresh air release come in. It's just intuition there. And now we're going to move over towards mid. So holding Lightning Flash, we don't want to use that too quickly. Here's where I see a Fire Greatsword, and no one runs Fire Greatsword unless they're fresh air. And I take a burst on him, and I see that he's fresh air. So I pull away really hard. I need to push beyond that 900 range limit. And by doing this, I pull him into my Scourge again. You're going to see Cleansing actually wins me a fight here as well, I think, because it rips my blind. And there, he never took the pressure on me. He climbed up. So this is a really interesting thing, actually, to look back on, and it was a very peculiar moment for me. So as I'm fleeing, you'll see I get aggro from the Reaper and the Warrior as well. They're all here. So I have, what, 2 allies here or whatever? I'm going to kite around here. Now, you'd expect them all to just follow me. Well, if they're bad, which is what the kind of the expectation is here. So I'm going to hook around on the left to try and line a sight on the tree or whatever, and I guess that's what tips them off. And then when we next look at them, they're all like deeply on the inside here, and I have no sense of knowing how many genuinely followed me because I didn't press look behind quick enough. So there's the Reaper, but he's not fully looking at me. And then the fresh air, this fresh air rally could have just dropped this FGS and hit me hard there. I mean, I would have twisted a fated, but anyway, so I kill him there, and he gets punished for his positioning. And now we have a body with our Scourge. Here is my FGS is up now. One thing that I found really fun about using this, about hiding stuff. So, by the way, the way I did this, if you guys want to do it as well, you can do it with any window. If you run auto hotkey, which you probably should, they have a function on there for keeping windows always on top. So I just press my keybind on any window I like, and it will stay on top. So, yeah. Anyway, one thing I really like is when I get FGS, I've realized that I guess because usually whenever I cast this, it's in intense moments where it's extremely important I use the skills precisely. I've realized that I proper tunnel vision looking at the skill bar when I'm on Fiery Greatsword. And doing this as an experiment has made me realize that I don't really have to look at the skill bar ever. I generally know when the 3 will come back up. I generally, you know you have the 5 available. You know the 4. You don't kind of have to look at it at all. And I wouldn't be surprised if I do something similar when I like trigger a Lich Form or a Rampage and stuff like that on other classes. But I feel like, I guess what I'm saying is, in the past when I've cast FGS, it's almost like I lose so much focus on the rest of the game because I'm like focusing on things I don't need to. And now doing it like this, I feel so free and comfortable and like. Everything feels really easy to interpret, just like on post commentary and stuff, right? Like, or when you're watching a stream and you know you all you have to do is watch stuff. Anyway, so yeah, we drop the 5 over it again. We swell through, big damage, good team support here, by the way. Enemy team basically fully aggressed. Also here, you might have missed it. There's a Mirage nearby who's low, who's stealth or baits out. You see, we see him phase retreat. So I swap my target and just take some autos on him to kill him. And you'll see we get that there. We don't want to let him leave. So that's good. Now we're watching. Like, the camera is all really important here. What I want now, having just wiped them all massively, is a decap. But the fresh air rally was the first one that we killed, if you remember. And he's already out of the gate. So instead of the decap, I'm going to take the fight on him. I'm going to blow an early dodge of his with the Dragon's Tooth. And then I was so expecting him to plasma beam there. That's a bad dodge from me. Every single little dodge is extremely important, and that's a bad dodge from me. I should have waited, but I don't know. I guess I was scared of Earth and Synergy. Instead, he randomly swirls and correctly walks to the side of the tooth. And now something really awesome happens. My ally just wanders near him, which is bad for my ally, essentially. And he eats the plasma beam. So now that that's done, there's very little that scares me about this Ellie. And the other thing is, looking at our party, it's a core guard. There is no safer time to attack a core Ellie, a fresh air Ellie, than when you have core guard assistance. Core guard is his, like, anti-venom. It's beautiful. So I just go ham. You see how I blinked in there, by the way? I have swapped these 2 cooldowns because I want Lightning Flash on my left hand and Phoenix on my right hand for the blink-in Phoenix combo, so it's less clunky to do. So I swapped these. So not only have I got this obfuscated, I also am accidentally pressing the wrong button here, which is what you just saw there. I didn't actually want to blink in on that. Now I'm a little bit concerned of the fracturing blast or whatever, so I just pull away for a second. And like, do you see how like I dip on, then the core guard, then the core guard dips on, and we just swapped backwards and forth. This is a horrible situation for that Ellie. So the reason, and then I can kill this Mirage here who's just running. Oh, wait, let me rewind a little bit. Let me just say, for the Ellie, he's in a tough position because his team's on the back foot now. Well, my team isn't, so I get easy kills. It's not really player skill at the moment. Like that there, you saw me blowing the lightning flash accidentally. That was like really horrendous skill there. I was very bad in that fight, but because I had the core guard support, it was still easy as anything. Anyway, so now I'm going for the decap again with the kill in. But as I'm going for the decap, I look to the left. I think actually I might be looking at the minimap, but I see that a Mirage has run in, and I still want the decap. And then I decided, all right, no, I should probably go for the fight here. And it was a good decision because I just insta-kill that guy. Now I'm going for the decap again, and now as I'm going for the decap again, I look on the minimap and I see that some of my allies are being hit background here, and I would always favor hammering someone on the road and taking this fight in preservation of the 2-cap than splitting us across the 3rd point. So again, despite all of that, I'm happy to just completely abandon the plan, and it's a Reaper as well, such an easy target, right? So I turn this 2v1 into a 2v2, kill the Reaper with the assistance of my warrior. Plasma Beam, Dragon's Tooth. Here he's shield block, so we gale him. You notice how you know, we're doing a lot of attunement rotating here. I go for some shatter stones and stuff in this game as well. So, yeah, okay. And now here's another thing. As soon as that fight is done, I'm looking at the minimap again, and I'm thinking, all right, the fresh air Ellie's probably coming back. So again, I look to the left, and we see that this guy's getting burst. So we take the target. Oh no, I think I still have the Mirage targeted right now. Anyway, so that dodge there is because he's trying to close 900 range. We see that he stuns me. I twist of fate. And I'm just defensively running away. Okay, so at this point, we know that he's tunnel visioning. It's unranked. I don't know the skill of anyone. I can't trust anyone to help me. So, I could charge all the way down here and then chance around the left or whatever. But my plan here is actually to line of sight on this wagon, which from here, you cannot jump onto. And so I'm making a mistake right now in that my understanding at the moment I decided on this play is that you cannot climb on the wagon. However, you can climb on the wagon, just not from the angles I'm standing at. You can climb on it from here and here. And I wonder whether that was a really conscious thing the devs were going for in map design. So what's actually going to happen is I'm going to think, oh, he can't hit me and he's going to come right in and I can Phoenix him in the face or something. But what's actually going to happen is he's going to climb on the boxes and come around. So anyway, you see, I got the Dragon's Tooth and I'm Fire Main ready. And then I was going to Phoenix here, but then he turns around and goes the other angle. Then we get the Giant Meteor, which I'm going to now try and factor into my use, right? So we go double... Okay, so we were Fire Water there. Let's rewind. It sucks that the first time you're seeing me utilize this skill is when you can't see the skills. Basically, I'm Fire Water. So what I'm... Okay, so we need to rewind even further. Sorry. Look, it's the last episode. We'll go into good detail here. Right. We're Water Main at the moment. We go into air for... No, we just... okay, so we're still Water Main, right? Now, what I could do right now is double tap this for a Water Trident and a Minor Heal. Or I can go Fire. Now, by going Fire, that preps the Dragon's Tooth, okay? It gets me ready for a Phoenix later. But also, it's given me another evade here because I'm the Fire-Water mix. So what I can do is, if he comes down the corner, press 3, F1, 3 is basically the idea, right? So we take that there. This dodge here... Oh, that's a regular dodge. There you go. Now, this dodge here is the fire-water mix. It's like roll back and throw a crappy like comet thing at people. So as I do that, we crit him, and I decide to go for an air burst, which is to abandon the Phoenix plan. If that meteor was like a stun or something, obviously you would then Phoenix him in the face, and that would be a beautiful way of winning these fights, but there's probably too much power creep to even consider. So anyway, yeah, we do that. We've taken the extra evade. I still have another Twist of Fate, so I used that there. That was probably a little bit silly. Now as I run... And you notice I'm just gambling him around this over and over and over again. Now I go for the Giant Meteor, and what I'm going to try and do is immobilize him in the Giant Meteor. So I go Earth, Immob, but he had Arcane Shield up from when we procced it a second ago. So then I need to use another dodge, and I've got assistance from my allies now. So as soon as I get the assistance from my allies, if you look at about this point in the fight, I've got my heal available. And I'm in Obsidian Flesh. I could easily do it. But what I want to make sure is that this guy dies. So I'm standing in the Chaos Storm, gambling on some Aegis. And I'm basically just... And we do get it, you see. The block isn't relevant in the end. But I'm just autoing, right? It's just auto, because I need that kill to go through. And with the Mesmer, we get it. So that's a good demonstration of surviving, right? Just survive long enough. Even the most slow... I was almost going to be rude there. Even quite inattentive allies can eventually come to help you. if you are just surviving long enough, even on glassy builds, right? You know, that is a victory in and of itself. Of course, if your allies lose on all their engagements, you're just going to get snowballed by the enemy. But, you know, to some extent, you can't help that. Anyway, so a giant meteor over the body there. Burst the Mirage as he comes in. Continuing to watch line of sights for respawns. Spellbreakers up. Okay, so this bit's really bizarre, by the way. I'm about to die. Oh, maybe it's later, actually. That plasma beam did no damage because he's in Rampage, but I took it anyway. It applies weakness is the main reason why I wanted to do that. So, yeah, we cleave that down. Reaper runs in. I mean, this Reaper is... I mean, that's an absurd play. He just literally ran into a 1v3. He scored a kill, I guess, but, I mean, by all rights, he should never get through that. So I'm pressuring him through the stomp. And what he's thinking right now is, I'm dying, I'm dying, I'm dying, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, I need to go into Shroud, I need to go into Shroud. But if he goes into Shroud, it will interrupt his stomp. So, he's going for gold. And at the last second... I mean, respect to him at least for realizing that... Unless that's the trait. You don't think he's death, is he? And he's that trait procced. Oh, God. Anyway, he has soul barbs on, so that's soul reaping, right? That's the new soul reaping one. Anyway, here, once again, guess who I'm looking for when I'm doing this? We're just watching here. Now, I want to know if I want to go for the decap, but immediately I see that there's another nice little fight I can contribute to. I don't really want to blink into it because I want to blink out. Looking over to the node to see that no one's standing there. It is their node. So respawns are coming through. We take the giant meteor and the pyroclastic to kill the spellbreaker. But, okay, so there's two games here. One, we're just kind of muscle memory using skills here to kill that guy. So anyway, we kill this. But as we're watching that, we're watching this guy come down. The 900 range gap is about here. So as soon as he closes it, I dodge roll. And port back. Now I notice I've got a Mirage heavily on me as well. I get really good dodge on the Axe ambush. This skill 4 here was... I don't think I should use. I think I should have held that. Maybe? I don't know. Anyway, the Mirage is still on me. So I just want to stay with allies. You see how I kited, like, around the back of my friend there? It's to just make him 100% aware. And then I look and I see, oh my god, why is a Reaper and a Warrior on the enemy team running like this is very, very bizarre, especially since that node is unguarded. So that freaks me the hell out. We now need to run away from the Warrior. The idea here was to climb on this and then super speed jump over that, and we'll be away while he clunkily kind of deals with the crates. But you see, I just got arcane blasted. The fresh air Ellie is on me again, so I need to leave. So I take a dodge. So he's procced my 50% trait. That's not good. And he's not even been fighting yet. This is damage I just did. So I immobilize him to reset air, which I can use to attune and then get obsidian flesh, which is a little bit overlappy. But, I mean, Ellies have pretty fast packets of damage. So, you know, basically what I'm saying here is I lose the value of these 2 ticks of the arcane shield because now I've got invuln anyway. But, so, you see, we were knocked down and had no way out because I twisted or fated a second ago. Which might have been bad, but, I mean, we'd been in a prolonged engagement before anyway. Anyway, so the point is that we save ourselves from the plasma beam. He Dragon's Tooth and we kite out of it. He Swirling Winds. All that means is I don't use Earth 2. That's it. That's all that means. So here, this was really important, okay? So if we watch back, we are air auto-attacking. Wait. So we're air auto-attacking. Now, air auto-attack has lots of rapid hits, and obviously you're going to crit a lot. Now, one of the traits you can pick up is gain a bit of health when you attunement swap, which is good sustain. Or you can pick up on crit, inflict a condition. And that's in some ways the more aggressive version, because in air you get weakness, and weakness gives you extra crit chance. But the other thing is it's weakness. So what that means is as he strikes me now, I'm going to face tank this, but it's going to be glancing, right? So watch, that's his air swap, and he doesn't really crit. I don't actually see glancing coming in here. But look, we don't take much damage when we could have taken a good amount of damage. I need to keep playing this through kind of slowly here. So what's the game plan now? I'm closing a gap here. I'm walking towards him. Why is my instinct to do that? I'm not sure. Making sure that there's a Phoenix possible play maybe in a second. We've just gone into Fire Main, so this is my Plasma Beam coming up. I utilize it, and it does land perfectly. But the problem is that he has his 50% trait. I've only just equalized to where this fight started now because I've just popped through his 50% trait. You'll notice the other benefit that's happened here, right, is because I've been weakening him and he's glancing, blowing me. And the weakness is now increased because I just plasma beamed, right? Which is also weakness. But the thing is, because that's happening, he can't crit me and he can't put his weakness on so easily, right? Because he only has a 33% chance. So getting those early airstrikes can be really nice. So anyway, now he dodges and he's got his thing. And I just sort of walk past him for a second. Here I know I just need to break through that shield and keep with the pressure, basically, because I don't have enough cooldowns left. So I go back into air and I air to you. I don't know. That kind of fizzled out there. There wasn't anything too intelligent. Basically, I just had a feeling that he was going to die if I kept pressuring. And he didn't have his big stuff left, which he didn't. One of the other things about this matchup, by the way, build-wise, is I'm on Arcane Wave, which has less ammo, but is instant activation, ground target, blast. And he's on Arcane Blast, which is a projectile. So I can actually, I'm slightly favored because I can reflect and swell the projectile and anticipate dodges on the projectile and stuff. I don't think it really factored in on that fight, but it's a thing to think about. So yeah, also he couldn't lightning flash away because he'd lightning flash towards me very aggressively. So that's why I'm on the upper hand towards the end there anyway. So yeah, I kill him and leave the body. Now we come back to mid. This is where we're going to die, all right? So this mid, to me, my impression of it as I'm playing is that it's actually a pretty safe and comfortable mid. We've got this guy down. I Phoenix over it. There's no crits, unfortunately. It's not too good. We go for the Mirage, and I think that he's kind of low. I'm probably about to crumble. It's a 2v3 right now, right? I think. Oh, I'm just realizing on post-commentary what happened. So the Warrior has Vengeance. This was not apparent to me in the moment. I didn't even consider that. So a couple of terrible plays here. So now I've just been jumped by a Mirage. I'm still thinking, oh, this is fine. But my ally's just gone down. This guy's kind of just on the node. I have a Vengeance Warrior in the area. Now, if I had perceived that, what I could do is just use this field, which completely eliminates Condi damage on you, which is amazing. I've had some great kills on characters on a variety of builds using this recently. So I could cast this on my ally's body and stand with it. It'd be amazing. But in fact, it kind of looks like I do try and press it. Is that what I'm trying to do here, maybe? Anyway, I'm just dead suddenly. Like, really suddenly. I'm down. And I think it was a full counter and some dagger strikes here. You see, I actually died to a dagger strike. Jimmy's down there. And, yeah, I did cast it. I did cast the field. It was just too late. And I just suddenly was dead. And I was like, whoa, that mid was fine, wasn't it? Didn't we have the Warrior down and everything? And so then I was looking at damage taken. I was like, was I just getting Condi down and I didn't realize it? So just a really sudden death. This is a moment where the enemy team will come back into the game a little bit. So a lot of you guys will turn your brains off when you're dead. Mine isn't turned off right now. I'm wondering what I want to do immediately on respawn. And I'm looking here at the minimap and seeing that I have a Scourge being hit by the Fresh Air Ellie. So the Fresh Air Ellie is playing terribly because he's fighting right under our spawn. But what tipped me off to this was looking at health, and I saw Scourge is low. Oh, he's here. So if you looked at my cursor a second ago, as I was respawning, it was up here. I'm often doing that when I'm playing now, just so that I know on Game of the Day I can show that that's where my awareness is. So yeah, my cursor was looking here because what I want to do is save the Scourge. And if he went downstate, I actually would have lightning flashed in base to get to the ledge. Seriously. Anyway, so we come out immediately with a plasma beam. We push him off. We go for the instant res. I'd rather res than rally because, you know, we can prolong his death. I mean, he could vapor towards his spawn a little bit. This guy's trying to stomp him, so good job, buddy. It's just going to vapor. Or he'll let him stomp him out, which I think he did actually. So then okay, so there's quite a lot going on here. We have sides, and obviously I don't want to suicide into mid. I see this low target, and if the Mirage was rotating here, I can suddenly jump forward and kill him, right? And I might not get the full stomp or whatever, but that's a good entry point for a fight afterwards, you know, as they cluster around the body or whatever. So, so that's what I'm thinking here when he's behind the pot. So as I climb down, I pre-cast the lightning flash, because I'm like, I'll go for it. But then, like literally as I've paused here, I realize he's not going that way at all. I actually want to cancel cast the lightning flash now, but I'm on global cooldown for my attunements. I don't want to arcane wave. I don't want to heal. I don't want to super speed. And you can't just press stow from a position like this, I think, bind-wise. So if I release this button, I'm getting a lightning flash. And I'm trying to not do that, but I accidentally do it. So this is, all of that is to say that's an accidental lightning flash, okay? Anyway, so, and obviously the Mirage is reset. He's gone the right way. I still go for it after, so, oh God. This is a weird video. Why don't they all get like this? I guess I just remember in really fine detail this game. So basically, after the accidental lightning flash, I'm thinking, shit, I'm fucked. They're going to kill me. They're going to come in and, you know, they could all turn around and just kill me now. I'm in such a terrible, terrible, terrible position, especially considering behind me there's a fresh air LED on respawn, which we'll get to in a second. However, they're not looking at me. And because I have my Mirage coming up around the back, I decide to push for it anyway. You see? Now, my friends that just respawned with me haven't gone into mid. They're too scared to do it, and that's fine. So we're just going to try and kill this here. Evades, 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 evades. Even though they're removed evades. So here I didn't know which one it was, whether that was actually him. Then I realized it's in all likelihood a clone, so we'll just leave. Okay, and now I'm going to die again. Why am I going to die? The fresh air early on respawn. So the reason I die here has got nothing to do with the 1v1 potential or skill execution mechanics. It's just game knowledge and map rotations understanding. Obviously he died. He's going to be right here around this corner, and I wasn't thinking about it whatsoever. In fact, I did feel a bit cheated by this in the game. You're obviously vaguely aware of everything. Remember last game I showed you that burn tick on Legacy, and that tipped me off? And, you know, it's such a subtle thing to see. I'm vaguely aware of this area of the map, and I don't see a target here. And none of the... Okay, so the other thing is, instinctually, I might have expected any respawns to come and reclaim their close, because we're not there. So maybe that's why I was so brain dead about this. But it doesn't look like anyone's there. Anyway, so I go for the fight. And then we just get plasma beamed and killed. Maybe he was like really aggressively on the hunt and watching where I was, and he was hiding around the corner. In any case, you know, I can't do anything about that. I do blame myself because it really all goes back to that lightning flash. And then not getting the Mirage kill and stand on the crates a little bit too long as my Mirage wanders off and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, that guy had no real sense of what to do after getting a down state. I think he freaked out and was too happy, and he came in too quick. He needed to leave, basically. Just be happy to take a pot shot. If you get a down state, you know, that is a victory all on its own sometimes. He could have left and decapped and reclaimed close for his team there, but instead he just suicided. So on respawn, I come to close, which my guy has just been... It was a 2v2 that my Mirage is bailing out of. But this guy's super low, so that's like easiest kill NA. There's a mage near me, but I think it just despawned or something. I'm not sure. There was a fear and I dodge, but the dodge moved me out of range. Here I try and use Waxing Doom on a body. You see this projectile here? That doesn't trigger on bodies, I now learn. So I don't know why. That's easily the least interesting of the new skills. Either that or I just don't understand how it works. I'm standing in the well, so I kind of dodge out of it. Take a quick look behind me because I don't want to get suddenly jumped by something. And anyway, so then that sustains. That's actually a 3 cap we get here. Oh, no, because now they're decapping close. Far point, sorry. They're close. And yeah, anyway, so there you go. That's the game. I would really, sincerely, genuinely... This isn't like some smug, arrogant... Oh, I'm so much better than everyone else punching down bullshit you often find in the PvP community when they do dim stuff like... Well, I won't go into specifics. But basically, this is actually valuable, I think, to turn off your skills... Give yourself that little bit of a handicap in unranked games. Because I do feel a bit more aware of my surroundings. And it does sort of force into me, hey, you don't have to be looking down here, like, ever. And maybe that's an interesting insight for you guys as well. That's not a sign of skill. Every player that's halfway good with their build won't actually be looking at their weapon skills ever, really, for cooldowns, I think, mostly. But every time you do, you should consider that a bit of a failure, maybe. Anyway, so, yeah, and that's what this has kind of taught me. As for upcoming game of the days, I don't know what I want to do, really. I don't know whether we'll, in the off-season, pick some unranked stuff, to some other concept to do until it comes back. I'll play around. I'm just going to try things. And if we do some terrible videos over the next couple of days, we do some terrible videos. But, yeah. So, thanks very much, guys. Game of the day, Season 3, or whatever it was. 45 episodes, or 44. And I hope you enjoyed. I will see you next time. Top stats here. We got top damage. Sorry, top kills and top revives at 21% of the team. 17 and 2. Cheers, everybody. See you next time.